Okay, a former FBI Director James Comey testifying a few days ago about the Russia investigation, saying he has no doubt Moscow tried to interfere in the U.S. election. But some members of Congress say there's no proof Russia collaborated with a specific campaign.
One thing of which we are certain, there is no evidence of any collusion between the Russian government and any presidential campaign. If Robert Mueller or anyone else investigating this uncovers evidence suggesting something else, then I'm sure that will be pursued. But we have to deal with the facts as we have them now, with evidence that has been brought forward so far, and I don't see it.
And joining me now is Steve Rogers, former member of the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force and a lieutenant commander in the U.S. Navy with the Office of Naval Intelligence. And always good to have you here.
Thank you.
First, Steve, as an investigator, your reaction to Senator Lee's proclamation?
Well, he's absolutely right. We have to look at some facts, and Robert Mueller's going to have to look at some interesting facts. Fact number one, there's absolutely no evidence that there was collusion with the Trump administration with regard to Russia and the investigation. Number two, fact two, James Comey admitted that he leaked some information, especially to a friend who was a reporter. And the most important damning fact is the Loretta Lynch telling James Comey to change the word investigation to the word matter, looking into a matter. To me, that's tantamount to interfering with an investigation. So Robert Mueller, looking at the facts, will probably have to shift his investigation from the President of the United States to James Comey and Loretta Lynch.
And you're talking about Loretta Lynch, former Attorney General, who was looking into the Hillary Clinton private server email situation and saying, according to former Director Comey's testimony, saying that Ms. Lynch suggested that he referred to it as a matter, not an investigation. And she went on to say through a source, as reported to the New York Times, that she chose to use the bland terminology because that's standard procedure. But you're saying you feel that we should hear from Ms. Lynch.
Oh, absolutely. Look, those are facts that you just articulated. There is no factual information or intelligence leading to anyone to believe that there was collusion between Russia and the Trump administration. And look, James Comey tried to come off as a Captain America here. He is no Captain America. He tried to convince the American people that he did what he did on behalf of the people and on behalf of the FBI. Dead wrong.
But do you feel, Steve, at this point, though, in this investigation, this process, that it can become quite political? Because honestly, when you hear the analysis, it depends on who's talking and how they see it.
Absolutely. It's become political already. In all my years in law enforcement, I have never seen law enforcement practitioners like James Comey and others come before the American people and actually say they've leaked stuff, they shared information with unauthorized people. This has been bad from day one, and my suggestion would be end it now, let the president govern.
What about the president? Should we hear from the president? The president says he has tapes. Should we hear those tapes? Should we hear from the president under oath? The president says, hey, listen, I will 100% absolutely testify under oath because I've got nothing to hide.
He said he would. I believe him. Interesting enough, everything he said so far was the truth. So if he wants to come forward, then let him have his day in court.
Getting to the Russian interference, how insidious, how dangerous is this to our national security?
It's very dangerous. However, Vladimir Putin, I believe, at one point hinted that it could have been someone outside the Russian government.
You believe that?
There is no. Well, I don't. I don't. I don't trust Vladimir Putin at all. However, saying that, there is still not one shred of evidence that he gave the order to get involved. You're smiling, I know you. There's no evidence that he gave the order to interfere with the election. Did he probably do that? Maybe, but show us the evidence. The court of law, you need evidence.
Okay, we get it. Listen, you can say all you want to, but I think most people, the Intelligence Committee,
yes,
all the various agencies have said that they did interfere, and we know
yes,
that not much happens there in Russia without the president knowing about it. So
yes,
that aside,
yes,
talk about, though, it's serious that even former Director Comey testified Thursday saying, yes, there's no doubt that they did interfere and they will continue to do so. So shouldn't that be the focus?
Yes.
Not the argument of whether or not it happened. We know it happened. Let's make sure it doesn't happen again.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's dead serious as we move forward in our elections in this country. But as you said, we need to refocus the attention away from the president and this idea that there was collusion between him and Russia, and focus on the point that it did happen. What are we going to do moving forward to prevent it?
But why doesn't the president say just that? Why don't we focus on how it happened, why it happened, and what are we going to do to stop it?
Well, I believe he has to some degree, and I also believe that he's been so busy trying to convince people that he's telling the truth that you do get distracted. The whole country's distracted over what is really tantamount to a political witch hunt. That's got to end.
Well, hopefully, if there are tapes, the president will provide them, and we're going to hear what happened in that private conversation. But in the meantime, go ahead.
He's told the truth all along. I mean, there are people who doubt him because of his style, but the president has told the truth all along. There's not one shred of evidence that there was collusion with Russia.
For sure, we all have to calm down and wait till all the evidence is presented and see how it all turns out.
Let's wait for the evidence, and then the jury makes its decision.
That's right. Steve Rogers, that's the way it's supposed to work in this country.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Greg?
President Trump's